This presentation analyzes the responses of participants at the Transportation Assets and Barriers workshop held in Algona on February 26th, school focus groups held on March 22nd, and a random sample survey sent to Algona residents. The information in the following slides is intended to inform the Algona Visioning Committee and design team during the design process. We conducted community focus groups and sent out a random sample survey to 438 Algona households. The quantitative data collected from the survey responses complements the qualitative information gathered at the focus groups. Different transportation users have different needs and priorities. Older adults want access to local services. Active recreationists want to be challenged while engaging in physical activity. Parents are concerned for the safety of their children. Mobility-challenged individuals want smooth surfaces and safe traffic crossings. Youth want complete sidewalks and safe traffic crossings. We conducted focus groups with people from each of these different demographics to obtain a complete picture of the transportation system in Algona. All our user types travel around Algona by walking and driving. Older adults, youth, and active recreationalists bike around town. Youth enjoy riding their scooters or mopeds around town. Mobility-challenged individuals use wheelchairs to get from place to place in Algona. Focus group participants were asked what they consider to be community assets. Residents enjoy natural elements in the area, including the scenic views at Call State Park and neighborhood tree canopies. They appreciate the many outdoor recreation opportunities provided by the river, the many parks, and the bike trail. Participants offered several examples of how the local infrastructure supports their activities. Residents appreciate downtown Algona and all it has to offer. Mobility-challenged individuals and actives both use downtown Algona regularly. However, mobility-challenged individuals love the sidewalk ramps and accessibility in the area, while actives dislike the lack of shade in the summer. During the focus groups, participants also identified undesirable features in town. Heavy traffic is a significant barrier, especially along the highway corridors through town. The lack of quality sidewalks in Algona makes it difficult for pedestrians and cyclists to access certain amenities, such as Call State Park, the pool, the hospital, and the schools. Other barriers identified include difficult intersections, visibility issues, and poor biking conditions. Finally, focus group participants had the opportunity to tell us what changes they want in Algona. Longer trails with more connectivity is a high priority among participants. Implementing traffic controls is also important, especially along Highway 18 and 169. Residents would like increased pedestrian and cyclist access. Actives suggested a trail along the river. Some groups suggested sidewalk improvements. For example, mobility-challenged individuals would like curb ramps at intersections throughout town. In addition to the focus groups, we distributed a random sample survey to 438 households. Understanding what types of improvements are important to residents gives the committee insight on how to prioritize projects. The information summarized here includes respondents' willingness to help, their enhancement priorities, their preferred commuting, biking, and walking routes, and qualities they desire on their biking and trail routes. More than 45% of respondents indicated they were willing to help with the visioning process, whether this be volunteering time, money, or both. How do we get people to help? According to an ISU study of Iowa small towns in 2014, a common reason residents said they didn't become involved in community projects was because no one asked them. Others indicated they didn't know how to become involved. These results show that the best ways to get people involved in community projects is to simply ask them, along with advertising opportunities through traditional and social media outlets. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the most important, participants in Algona ranked providing more accessibility for seniors as most important. Other types of transportation enhancements that address pedestrian mobility, safety, and health are also considered important, such as providing safer routes to school, better lighting for night use, more physical activity opportunities, and better pedestrian connections. In terms of quality of the built environment, survey respondents consider enhancing seasonal beauty as most important, followed by providing better neighborhood streetscapes and habitats for birds and pollinators. Most survey respondents drive to important destinations such as the grocery store, post office, school, and church. More than 20% carpool or ride with someone else. Nearly 14% of participants indicated that they walk, and 4.1% bike to their destinations. This map shows the commuting routes identified by 67 respondents. The frequency that the routes are used is depicted by their width, with most frequently used routes being the thickest. The primary commuting corridors into and out of Algona are Highway 18, County Road B40, and Highway 169. A number of people also travel on 210th, North Main, Diagonal, and North Hall streets. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the most important, survey respondents ranked the characteristics and features that factor into their choice of commuting route. Among Algona participants, time to destination was the most important factor. Avoiding drifting snow, ice, or water is the second most important factor when determining commuting routes. This map shows the walking routes identified by 69 survey respondents. The frequency that the routes are used is depicted by their width, with the most frequent as the thickest. Survey respondents indicated that they walk primarily on the trail at Diamond Estates. Riverview Cemetery and Call State Park are also commonly used for walking. Streets in town frequented by walkers include McGregor, State, Call, and Diagonal streets. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the most important, survey participants ranked the characteristics and features that make their walking experience better. These features are categorized as either connections or conditions and elements. The most significant influencer on people's walking patterns is the condition of the sidewalk. This map shows biking routes identified by 35 survey respondents. The frequency that the routes are used is depicted by their width, with the most frequently as the thickest. Like walkers, bikers most often use the trail at the Diamond Estates. North Main Street and 210th Street near Diamond Estates are also heavily traveled. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the most important, survey participants ranked the characteristics and features that make their biking experience better. These features are categorized as either connections or conditions and elements. Algona participants consider connections more important than conditions and elements. Access to trails is the most important connection. In terms of conditions and elements, well-kept surroundings are the most important among bikers. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the most important, survey respondents ranked the characteristics and features that made their trail experience better. These features are categorized as either connections or conditions and elements. Conditions and elements are more important to Algona trail users than connections. Access to natural areas is the most important connection among trail users. In terms of conditions and elements, well-kept surroundings is the most important, followed by lighting, trees and shade, and trail length. If you have any questions about this presentation of the community visioning process, contact the members of your local visioning committee or check us out on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. A complete set of assessment presentation boards can be found on the Algona webpage at www.communityvisioning.org/Algona.